Imagine for a second that we strip you of everything you own. Your bank account goes to zero. Your house, your car, your job title, all gone. You are dropped into a random English-speaking country with nothing but the clothes on your back. Now here is the million-dollar question. In 5 to 10 years, are you wealthy again? If your answer is no, or if your answer relies on winning the lottery, then you are playing the wrong game. You are relying on luck. But if you look at the truly wealthy, the self-made titans, they will tell you that making money is not a lucky event. It is a skill. It is a set of reproducible steps. If you took Naval Ravikant, stripped him of every dollar, and dropped him in a random city, he guarantees that within 5 years, he would be wealthy again. Why? Because he knows the algorithm. He knows that getting rich isn't about working harder. It's about knowing what to work on and who to work with. In this episode of the Book Summary Podcast, we are breaking down the How to Get Rich section of the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. We are going to deconstruct the difference between money and wealth, how to find your specific knowledge, and how to use leverage to disconnect your time from your income. But before we dive into the strategy, remember that a 10-minute summary is just the map, not the territory. Naval's wisdom is incredibly dense, and he goes into deep nuances about happiness and philosophy that we simply cannot fit into this short audio. If you want to truly master this mindset, I have left a link to the full audiobook in the description below. It is often free if you sign up for an Audible trial. Grab it so you can let these ideas soak into your subconscious while you commute or hit the gym. It's the best investment you'll make today. Now, let's get into the first pillar of building wealth. Takeaway number 1 is that wealth is not money, and status is a trap. Here is the biggest myth that keeps 99% of people broke. Most people think getting rich means having a high salary or a fancy job title. We grow up being told to become doctors, lawyers, or senior executives because those roles pay a lot of money.
But here is the truth, and it might sting a little. Money is just a way to transfer wealth. Money is how we move value around. But wealth? Wealth is the thing that earns while you sleep. Wealth is the factory, the computer code, the business, the patent, the stock. Wealth is the asset that works 24 hours a day so that you don't have to. Naval makes a crucial distinction here. You must stop seeking money and status and start seeking wealth. Let me paint you a picture to explain this. Imagine 2 neighbors, Bob and Alice. Bob is a high-powered corporate attorney. He makes $400,000 a year. He drives a brand new Porsche, wears a Rolex, and everyone in the neighborhood respects him. He has high status. But Bob has to wake up every morning at 6 a.m., commute into the city, deal with angry clients, and bill every single hour of his day. If Bob gets sick, or if Bob wants to take a month off to travel, his income drops to zero. Bob is not wealthy. Bob is just a highly paid wage slave. He is renting out his time. Now look at Alice. Alice runs a software company she built 5 years ago. She doesn't wear a Rolex, she drives a modest car. But while Alice is sleeping, her software is being used by thousands of customers. While she is on vacation in Bali, her bank account is growing because the code is working for her. Alice has wealth. The problem is that we are biologically wired to chase status, not wealth. Status is a zero-sum game. For Bob to be the best lawyer, someone else has to be the second best. Status is a ranking hierarchy. It's like a sports match. For one team to win, the other must lose. And because we are social creatures, we obsess over where we rank in the tribe. We buy things we don't need, with money we don't have, to impress people we don't like. Wealth, on the other hand, is a positive-sum game. We can all be wealthy. If I build a house and you build a house, we both have a place to live. We just created value.
So, here is the psychological shift you need to make. You have to be willing to look like a loser in the short term, to win in the long term. You have to ignore the status game. I want to pause here for a second, because this is a hard pill to swallow. I want you to be honest with me in the comments. Look at your current life. Are you chasing wealth, meaning assets that earn while you sleep? Or are you chasing status, trying to look successful to your peers. Type the word wealth or the word status in the comments right now. Be honest. There is no judgment here, only awareness. I'll wait a moment for you to type it out. Okay, hopefully you've committed to chasing wealth. But how do you actually do it? That brings us to the second key. Takeaway number 2 is specific knowledge and authenticity. The myth here is that you should look at the market, see what is paying the most right now, and go learn that. You see people making millions in AI, so you try to become an AI engineer. You see people making millions in real estate, so you try to flip houses. The truth, according to Naval, is that if you go into a field just because it's hot, you will lose. You will lose to the people who are doing it because they actually love it. Naval introduces the concept of specific knowledge. This is knowledge that cannot be trained. If society can train you to do something, then society can train someone else to replace you. If you can be replaced, your income is capped. Specific knowledge is found by pursuing your genuine curiosity and passion rather than whatever is hot right now. It is often highly technical or creative. It is the stuff that feels like play to you, but looks like work to others. Let's look at a story to illustrate this. Think about Joe Rogan. If you looked at Joe Rogan 20 years ago, his resume made no sense. He was a cage-fighting commentator, a stand-up comedian, a guy who was obsessed with aliens and conspiracy theories, and a mediocre TV host. On paper, none of that goes together. There was no job description for comedian, fighter, conspiracy theorist.
But Joe didn't try to become an accountant or a standard news anchor. He doubled down on being Joe Rogan. He combined all those weird, specific interests into a podcast. And because nobody else in the world has that exact combination of interests and skills, nobody can compete with him. He escaped competition through authenticity. When you are just being yourself, nobody can compete with you on being you. If you are trying to be a generic graphic designer, you are competing with millions of people. But if you are a graphic designer who specializes in retro-futuristic covers for sci-fi novels, and you are also obsessed with 1980s typography, suddenly your competition pool shrinks to zero. You become the only person in the world who does exactly what you do. This requires a massive mindset shift. We are taught to fit in. We are taught to be well-rounded. Naval says no. Be pointy. Be spiky. Find the thing that you were doing as a kid on Saturday mornings when nobody was watching. Think back to your childhood. What was the thing you did effortlessly? Was it organizing your friends? Was it taking apart radios? Was it drawing comics? Was it debating? That is the seed of your specific knowledge. Does this sound like you? Do you feel like you are currently working a job where you have to wear a mask and pretend to be someone else? If you feel that friction, it's because you aren't using your specific knowledge. You are renting out your time doing generic work, and generic work will eventually be replaced by AI or cheaper labor. So the action step here is to stop looking at what makes money and start looking at what makes you fascinated. When you find that thing, you won't need willpower to work. You will just do it because it's fun. And when you work on something that is fun for you, you can outwork anyone else.
Before we move to the final and most powerful concept, leverage, I want to take a quick second to remind you, if you are finding value in this breakdown, please hit that subscribe button for the Book Summary Podcast. We are on a mission to decode the world's best books so you can upgrade your life one summary at a time. And don't forget, if you want the full experience, the link to Naval's complete audiobook is right there in the description. Okay, let's get to the engine of wealth. Takeaway number 3 is the power of leverage. You have the mindset, which is wealth over status. You have the direction, which is specific knowledge. Now you need the engine. The myth is that to get rich, you need to work 80 hours a week. We glorify the hustle culture, the grind, the sleepless nights. The truth? Hard work is overrated. Yes, you need to work hard, but hard work without leverage is just a fast track to burnout. You need leverage. Archimedes said, "Give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, and I will move the earth." Naval categorizes leverage into 4 types, and understanding the difference changes everything. The first two are the old world leverage, capital and labor. Capital is money. If you have $1 million, you can invest it to make more money. Labor is people working for you. If you own a factory with 1,000 workers, you have leverage. But here is the problem. You need permission for these. You need someone to give you money. You need people to agree to work for you. And managing people is incredibly messy and difficult. This is where the new world leverage comes in, and this is where you need to pay attention. The new leverage is code and media. This is permissionless leverage. You do not need anyone's permission to write a piece of software. You do not need anyone's permission to record a YouTube video or a podcast. Think about the difference. In the old days, if you wanted to reach 1 million people, you needed to buy a TV network or own a newspaper. You needed millions of dollars and permission from gatekeepers.
Today, a kid in a basement in Vietnam can write a piece of code that solves a problem for 1 million people in America. A writer in Brazil can publish a blog post that is read by CEOs in London. Code and media are the army of robots that work for you while you sleep. Let's look at a counterexample. Think about a personal trainer. A personal trainer provides value, but they have 0 leverage. They can only train one person at an hour. If they sleep, they don't get paid. Their income is linear. Now, imagine that personal trainer records their workout routine and puts it on YouTube, or turns it into a PDF guide. Now they have media leverage. That video can be watched by one person or 1 million people, and it costs the trainer the exact same amount of effort. That is disconnected input and output. That is how you get wealthy. The goal is to get your inputs to be disconnected from your outputs. You want to work once and get paid forever. Naval's advice is clear. If you can't code, write books and blogs, record videos and podcasts. This is the golden era for creators and builders. You have a broadcasting tower in your pocket, your smartphone. You have a printing press in your laptop. So I have a challenge for you. Pause for a second and think about your current workflow. Where is your leverage? Are you the guy carrying the stone on your back? Or are you the guy building the crane to lift the stone? I want you to leave a comment below. Tell me, what is one piece of permissionless leverage you can build this weekend? Is it a blog post? A video? A piece of code? An automated email sequence? Commit to it publicly in the comments. When you write it down, it becomes real. To wrap this up, let's bring it all back to the core philosophy. Getting rich isn't about luck. It's about becoming the kind of person who can generate wealth.
It starts with rejecting the status game and the salary trap. You need to own equity, a piece of a business. It moves to finding your specific knowledge, the thing that feels like play to you, but looks like work to others. And finally, it requires applying leverage, specifically code and media, to multiply your efforts by 1,000 or 1 million. Naval Ravikant often says, "Earn with your mind, not your time." When you finally understand this, you realize that you don't need to dread Monday mornings. You don't need to count down the days until retirement. You can build a life where your work is an extension of who you are, and your bank account is a reflection of the value you've created for the world, not the hours you've sat in a chair. We have only scratched the surface of the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. There are chapters on judgment, happiness, and philosophy that are just as life-changing as the wealth section. Do yourself a favor. Don't just stop at this summary. Go get the full book. I've put the link in the description. It's a resource you will return to for the rest of your life. Thank you for lending me your ears and your attention today. If this episode sparked a light bulb moment for you, share it with a friend who is stuck in the rat race. Let's all get wealthy together. Subscribe to the Book Summary Podcast for more insights that respect your time and upgrade your mind. I'll see you in the next video. Keep building.